Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite some time, at least it hasn't been a full month, or 2 or 3 since I posted anything, but I have some news in regards to what's going on with me behind the scenes, and I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about that before we get into today's video. If you don't give a shit about channel updates or what's going on in my personal life, I wouldn't blame you. Go ahead and skip to this timestamp. What? Go ahead and skip to this timestamp on screen. And for those of you who are just emanating big dick energy who've decided to stick around, joke's on you, there's nothing exciting here. Let me lead off what I think is the most important thing for this channel is that I'm going to be going through a bit of a rebranding. This is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. The current state of Star Wars being what it is, I just don't want to be associated with it at all. I had a second channel that I was going to be using for gaming content, Sierra 556, and my idea is to just take that branding and bring it over to this channel. I don't know when the full switch will take place. I don't know if things might change a little bit here and there, but that's my general idea right now. When I get some more concrete timelines, I'll be sure to let everybody know so you don't just open up your sub feed, and if I'm lucky enough to be in your sub feed, that is, and you see some random channel, I'll make sure you know that that's me, and then you can remember the quality of my videos and decide to unsubscribe anyway. As for my personal life, I finally got a new job, which still long hours, but it is only 4 days of work and 3 days off, thankfully. So I'll have more time for content creation and live streams, which a lot of you have been asking me to do more of, and I am more than happy to oblige. Live streaming is actually really fun. I have something pretty interesting coming up with this channel rebranding for live streaming, so hopefully you enjoy that. But you guys have all been extremely supportive of me in this channel. We just hit 7,400 subscribers. We're well on our way to that 8,000 mark, so I really appreciate you all. And I look forward to continuing growing this channel just under a less Star Wars influenced branding. Okay, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna pretend that the people who skipped this part, they still have big dick energy. We're gonna make sure that we're very inclusive of everybody, okay? Welcome to whatever timestamp was on screen, you big dick giga chad. We're here to talk about people who are just absolutely losing it over Hogwarts Legacy's success. And I don't mean that they're celebrating the success that the game has had, that they're happy that so many people have enjoyed playing this game. No, these are pathetic little goblins who can't stand that people are having fun playing Hogwarts Legacy, and they're looking for any excuse to just try to shit on this game and rain on everybody's parade. I've said it time and time again, but this game broke these people's minds, and they are just so desperate to find any way to try to downplay the success of this game. They are now talking about the decreasing player count for Hogwarts Legacy, which I know what you're thinking. Are you telling me that a single player game that wasn't designed to be extremely long, that wasn't designed to be another live service, sink your entire life into grinding out this game, you're telling me that this game's player population has decreased? Oh, but there's so much more to it than that. This Twitter user thought that he would stick it to those transphobic gamers by saying this, quote, "I'm not transphobic, I just want to live in Hogwarts. Damn, Harry Potter had to live there for like 7 years, and 90% of y'all couldn't even do it for 2 months. I don't know what it is with these people who just think it's a good idea to shit on gamers as a community. When you're a content creator yourself, you think that you would respect other people for wanting to play something that makes them happy? You know how they talk so much about love and acceptance of everybody? Well, apparently not if you play Hogwarts Legacy. He immediately just calls you transphobic. Anybody who says they just want to play Hogwarts Legacy, just play the wizard game. He's openly mocking them because Dan has such severe brain rot that he can't comprehend anybody wanting to play this game for enjoyment. No, instead, everybody who plays this game is an evil transphobe. Like, fuck, man, go outside. Breathe some fresh air. Talk to somebody about Harry Potter who's not on the internet all of the time. I guarantee you, the likelihood of that person being transphobic is slim to none. As a matter of fact, I would argue that the likelihood of that person not giving a shit about trans people at all is more likely, because most people don't talk about this kind of stuff. Most people don't care. You know, the people who do care are the people like us, who spend way too much time online and then making videos about this. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Dan goes on to compare Hogwarts Legacy to Elden Ring, which, I mean, Elden Ring's a great game. Population's going to be pretty strong. Still a pretty significant drop-off in player count, but Elden Ring, I guess I should say FromSoft games, they have a very dedicated and built-in community. People love those games, so it already has the benefit of having a massive fan base who's incredibly loyal to those kinds of games. Hogwarts Legacy definitely caters more to casual audiences. And a pretty good indicator of that is you don't really see many articles talking about how Hogwarts Legacy needs an easy mode to be more accessible to games journalists. But really the main point is that player drop-off is very normal. And as Sophia Narwitz pointed out on Twitter, there's all these articles from years and years ago talking about how most players don't even finish games. I mean, look at this Kotaku article from 2011, and yes, I know, just whatever, it's Kotaku. We brace yourself, get the bleach ready for your eyes after this, we have to look at them. 9 out of 10 will not finish the game they're playing. Then you have this Eurogamer article, fewer players finished Mass Effect 3 than completed Mass Effect 2. More than 5 months after launch, only 42% of players have played till the end. I guess the other 58% of players let Miranda die at the end of Mass Effect 2 and they just didn't want to finish the game because they weren't looking at her fat ass for the rest of Mass Effect 3. But here's the main problem I have with all of this. All the points that I've made in this video, all of the Twitter replies that people like this are getting to combat their completely blatant attempts to just shit talk this game and anybody who enjoys or played it, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because they don't live in the lands of logic or facts, any of that. It doesn't matter to them. The only thing that matters to these people is the emotional response that they could try to evoke from people. I mean, just look at this interaction with somebody who agrees with Dan. They quote, like mockingly quote, "This is the biggest game of the year." And then Dan replies, "The biggest fumble, more like it."
Do you exist in the real world, idiot?
People are so
Twitter is the
stupid.
best place to go to see people say the dumbest things possible.
It's true.
You have to be either completely fucking retarded or just willingly, blatantly lying when you have a game like Hogwarts Legacy that outsold Elden Ring in the UK, that completely shattered Twitch streaming records. You want to call that the biggest fumble? I refuse to believe anybody is this stupid, even on Twitter. I will lose complete faith in humanity. And yes, I know it's Twitter, but it doesn't matter. No one is this stupid. What Dan is trying to do is score brownie points to virtue signal to the mentally ill who are just grasping at straws to prove that this game is bad. It has to be bad, guys, because if it's not terrible, if it gets a sequel, transphobia wins. When in reality, J.K. Rowling is just raking in cash hand over fist from more things than Hogwarts Legacy. Universal Studios is making her way more money, but you don't see people going out there just locking themselves to the gates of Universal, locking themselves to the globe at Universal Studios, screaming about Hogwarts Legacy and transphobia, because no one's gonna know what the fuck they're talking about. And let me just say, just a little sidetrack before we wrap things up. As a gamer, I hate that I just said that, but from a gaming perspective, this just pushes that mentality of everything needs to be a live service. Every game needs to be designed to just maximize player engagement, which is not true. Sometimes a game can just come out, you can enjoy playing it for a couple hours, you don't have to finish it, you're the one who bought it, you spent your own money, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. But it's just this kind of sentiment that I think companies can look at and be like, oh, player retention is down? We should add more of collectathon bullshit, which Hogwarts Legacy already has a ton of time-wasting collectathon stuff, which I do think was meant for player retention, and I think overall hurts the game because there's just way too much shit to just fly around and try to grab. And if you're looking at this from a purely game design aspect, or a company trying to sell more copies and keep those player numbers up, if they wanted to, they could have added way more of that, and I don't think it would have helped the game at all. But people like Dan here, if he was actually talking about the video game itself and not about this bullshit political stance that he has, we'd get a more watered down experience, or a more, I don't like to use the word predatory experience, but just not respecting your time. As an example, Warhammer Darktide, which is a game that I love, does not respect your time. If you want to play a specific mission, you can't. Let's say you have an objective, a weekly objective, that says you have to get 500 kills on this map. Well, guess what? The maps are on a timed rotation and it's random. So they just want you logged in as long as possible because it really looks good to all of the investors. Look how many people we have playing all the time. That's not good for gamers. But you see, we're not talking about the game. We're talking about the politics behind the game, which there's really not any for the game, but people have blown this up way out of proportion and turned it into some symbol. It's a battleground for trans rights when really it has nothing to do with that. This is all manufactured by people online, so much so that I am almost convinced, let me put on my tinfoil hat here for a second, my tinfoil helmet, that these people actually are a marketing firm for Hogwarts Legacy because they just love to talk about it. They're keeping it in the news cycle, for God's sakes. They got wands shoved so far up their ass, they just can't help but open their mouth and just start shooting shit off. It's expecto copium for the success of this game. These people can't take it. It mentally broke them. And for me, I think it's hilarious. And the more I see stuff like this, the more content that I get to create. So, I mean, just keep it on coming. That's what I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry, I have taken so much time off. I'm just waiting for this job transition to be over, get into my regular schedule, my less stressful schedule, I hope. But thank you again for sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video and you like me and want to support the content that I create, be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video around. Also, let me know down in the comment section below, are you still playing Hogwarts Legacy? Did you ever play it in the first place? Has this controversy surrounding this game piqued your interest in the Harry Potter universe at all? Let me know down in the comment section below. And before we go, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my beautiful channel members. Thank you all so much. If you want to join this rank of Giga Chad gamer wizards witches, hit the join button right down there next to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.